Hey everybody, welcome back to Chapter 8, Section 5. Just wanted to do an additional video with some extra examples here. So we're going to start off with this one. You might be able to solve it in your head. 3 over 2 plus 1 over x equals 2. If you're bad with fractions, you might be like, oh, I don't know what to do. But 3 over 2 is 1.5. So 1.5 plus what number is 2? Well, that would be 0.5. So I know the answer is going to be 1 over 2. Let's show it mathematically, though, algebraically, however you want to describe it. The easiest way to do this is to get all your like terms on one side and then create a proportion. So look, I'm going to minus 3 over 2 to the other side. And then I need the least common denominator to do 2 minus 3 over 2. What number divided by 2 is 2? Because I have to look at the bottom number. One number divided by 2 equals 2. That's 4. So 4 over 2 is the same thing as the number 2. So 4 over 2 minus 3 over 2. Well, that's just 4 minus 3, so that's going to equal 1 over 2. See, so I have 1 over x now equals, and instead of writing 2 minus 3 halves, I'm just going to write 1 over 2. And you can clearly see the tops or the bottoms, so the excuse me, the tops are the same, so the bottoms must be the same as well. But hey, let's just say we're given different numbers. Cross multiply and divide. What's 1x equals 2 times 1? That says x equals 2. So yeah, there you go. And that's all there is to that one. You could solve it an alternative way. Let me show you what that would look like. So let's say you wanted to get the common denominator right away rather than just get your like terms to the other side. It's going to be a little extra work because you're going to have to get the common denominators with both fractions. So I took my original 3 over 2 and 1 over x, and I needed 3 over 2 to have an x on the bottom because the other one had an x on the bottom. And I needed 1 over x to have a 2 on the bottom because 3 over 2 has a 2 on the bottom. So I got the least common denominator by doing that. And so that gets me 3x over 2x plus 2 over 2x, so they're both over 2x. So that's 3x plus 2 over 2x equals 2, and I just do that over 1 to make the proportion. So 2 times 2x is 4x, and then 3x plus 2 times 1 is 3x plus 2, minus 3x to the other side. You get an x equals 2. Again, I really think the first way of doing it is the easiest way. If you only see one letter, just get the non-letter terms together. So with that being said, why don't you try this one by yourself? Okay, pause the video, do it, because when you unpause it, it's going to be worked out. Okay, so for this one, I did the same process as I did the first method. I got the 4 over 3 to the other side, and 4 minus 4 over 3. Well, let's get the least common denominator, okay? What number divided by 3 equals 4? 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So I turned 4 into 12 over 3. So 12 over 3 minus 4 over 3. That's just 12 minus 4 over 3. That's 8. 8 over 3. So I have now 2x equals 8 over 3. Cross multiply and divide, and you get 3 over 4. Now, it's kind of important that, an important note, I should say. Looking at these first two examples, you have something over x in each of them. It's always important to note what x can't equal. And remember, x can't equal 0 looking at the original because you can't divide by 0. So when you're working these out, sometimes you get more than one answer. X can't equal 0 on this one. And so the important thing to do is to start off. I kind of forgot about it, and now I'm like, oh, you should start off with identifying what x can equal first, and that way if you do get an x can equal, or if you do get the same number that x can equal, you have like an extraneous solution kind of thing. So I'm bringing that up for a reason, because let's look at this next one. You have 12 over x squared minus 2x, so immediately I'm going to cross this out, and I'm going to factor out the x, and I'm going to write x minus 2, because look, I have x minus 2, and then I have an x there. So I'm going to have to do least common denominator before I do anything else. what are the two numbers that x can't equal? I can't divide by 0 because I can't plug in a 0 here or here, and I can't plug in the number 2 here or here. So before I go any further, I'm going to say x can't equal 0 or 2, okay? So when we work this out, let's see if we end up getting a 0 or a 2 for an answer. And yeah, so let's do some least common denominator stuff now. 12 over x times x minus 2 minus 3 over x minus 2. Well, that needs an x with it, so I'm going to throw an x over an x. And if you want to write the x in front, you totally can. And then it's got to equal, let's just make it equal the same thing. We can have a proportion, you can keep it 3 over x, but it's just like while we're in the process of doing everything with least common denominator, all I need to do is just add an x minus 2, don't I? So I'm just going to say x minus 2 over x minus 2, and now they all have the same bottom. So I have 12 minus 3x over x times x minus 2, and then that's going to equal, let's just distribute. What's 3 times x minus 2? That's 3x minus 6 over x times x minus 2. So you have a couple options here. You could cross multiply and divide, but your x minus 2's would just cancel right out. And I'm just trying to rewrite this. If the bottoms are the same, then you can just set the tops equal to each other and go about it that way. So just look at the 12 minus 3x and set it equal to 3x minus 6. Okay, it'll save you some time by doing that. Let's add 3x to the other side. All right, and then we got 12 equals 6x minus 6. So let's add 6 to the other side. And then we have 18 equals 6x. And we'll divide by 6. And then we get x equals 3, okay? So yeah, that's really the easiest way to go about it. I didn't get 0 or 2, so x equals 3 checks out. So yeah, the main takeaway here is check to see what x can equal, just to kind of, cover yourself. And once you get all the bottoms the same, just set the tops equal to each other. Make it easier on yourself, because it is easier than going and cross multiplying when you don't have to. You should cross multiply when you have different bases, okay? So with that being said, why don't you try this one on your own? Similar process, if you will, or do it like I did in the previous video. So yeah, just give it a go. Pause the video, and when you unpause it, I'll work it out. Okay, so this one, a little bit different than the other one. Before I began, I said that x can't equal 0 because you can't divide by 0, and then x can't equal 3 because 3 minus 3 would equal 0 on the bottom. But my final answer didn't end up being 0 or 3. Just there are other ways to do these, and I'm trying to show you the quickest and easiest way, believe it or not. And sometimes you will get one of these answers. You'll get multiple answers, and only one of them will work. So that's really why we're doing this. So what I did was, instead of getting all three of the bases to be the same, I saw that 2x over x just canceled out the x's, so that just made 2 over 1. And that kind of makes things easy right there. The 3, I just put it over x minus 3, so what you put on bottom, you have to put on top. So that gets me 3x minus 9, and then I just added it to x minus 2, so that's 4x minus 11. And so now that equals 2 over 1, so when I cross multiply, that's 4x minus 11 times 1, and then 2 times x minus 3, that's 2 times x minus 3. So that is excuse me, I can't breathe, I'm congested. 2x minus 6 minus 2x to the other side, you get 2x. Add 11 to the other side, you get 5. Divide by 2, you get x equals 5 over 2. So that's really the easiest way of going about it. Yeah, so just find least common denominators. When it's easy enough, get all three of them to be the same. When it's easy enough, just get two of them to be the same and cross multiply, you know. That's really the main takeaway here. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.